So this is our sutta study, discourse on mindfulness of breathing that we have been contemplating on. Now at the moment we are on the second last or the 15th, that is the Nirodhanupassi Assasi Samiti Sikati, Nirodhanupassi Passasi Samiti Sikati. This is the third of the fourth tretra, the contemplation of the Dhamma, which means he trains himself to breathe in, focusing on cessation, and to breathe out, focusing on cessation. So this Nirodha, a cessation, is the second last of this 16 stages of breathing meditation or mindfulness of the breath. Now, particularly if you've been following and practicing, and you have understood the first part of this fourth tretra, the impermanence of things, and able to comprehend on that and have developed this passion on things, then you will be able to see this cessation without any trouble. But if you haven't seen it, then it will be a bit of a difficulties to comprehend it. Here, Nirodha, before we go on to the other aspects of it, Nirodha means another name for the liberation, Nibbana. But here on this particular discourse, Nirodha is not referring to that Nibbana, similar to the previous one, the Viraga, dispassion. Dispassion is also a synonym for the Nibbana. And again, as I said previously, that this passion is also not referring to the Nibbana. Similarly, this Nirodha also not referring to that complete liberation. It's a simile that I gave while we were having a discussion. This is like, I am hungry, I eat food, I am full now and I do not need any food anymore, so my hunger been gone. But that doesn't mean it will not come back. So that sort of a stage is this Nirodhanupassi. But if you are really into it and if you have fully understood it, then basically you're able to attain even that Nibbana too. Okay? So here, Nirodha is like a coming sequence here, that when we see this impermanence of everything, then what happens here, that since everything is impermanent and changing all the time, then why should I have any passion on it? So this passion automatically arises. And similarly, this Nirodha is something that you see that, okay, this is ended. This is ended now. You understand? That's why in early on when I was reflecting, giving a reflection, I was referring to something like that, when we have seen it completely, and then the turning point comes, so you're just able to drop it like that. So now in terms of the practice, what's happening here, that now when we are looking at our mind and how this mind is creating and how this mind is arising and what are the causes of it, in that moment when we see those causes and condition that arises, then we able to stop there, that this is also this, and this is also that, so why I should worry about it? Then that stops there. And when that stops there, the first worry that we were having, that also stops there. So ceases there. So like that. So this Nirodha is here in that way. I don't know how to explain, but this is something, another way of looking at it, that when we are meditating, okay, so we observe the arising of the breath, arising of this incoming breath, and then when we able to recognize that this is arising, it ends, and now the beginning of another outcoming breath starts. So the first breath coming in already ceased. It's a new beginning of a new breath coming in. Right? So similar way, the feeling also, one feeling arises. When we become aware of that one feeling, straight away our perception to that feeling has already changed. Right? And that changing, again referring that the first feeling has ceased, another one arose. You see that here now? Similar way, another further on, now I'm coming back to explain one at a time with these 5 aggregates now. So the third one, your perception to the things. Certain perceptions to the things that you have, once you have understood that that is not the case, your perception to that things will change too. It's like maybe similarly for Lynn. She wanted to come into the meditation center for many times, walk around, and then she was having a fear that what's going to happen, whether there will be something strange, right? But however, when she came in and she realized that nothing that I was worried happens here. So the perception has changed, right? So with that, able to continue, right? Like that. So similar way, like the other perceptions, let's say Anapanasati. Before you meditate, you never even heard about it. And sometimes you may heard about it, but you never know what does it mean. But after we have studied and we realize that Anapanasati means the mindfulness of the breath, now on, whenever you heard, the perception of this unknown language become known language. So the perception has changed. So the first perception about this ceased, a new perception replaced. So similar way, since the first perception can change, first feeling can change, first understanding can change, the second one also change. It is also going to change too. So with that, every step there is ceasing, and in the meantime there is arising. Now think about it. When something struck in yourself, in your mind, or somebody saying very harsh word, and straight away you manage to pay attention to that word, and then, that word making me feel this way. Now here, when you pay attention to your feeling, the hearing word already disappeared. Right? Hearing word disappeared, and the first feeling of the hurt also disappeared already. Right? So there's a series of these things happen. And here we are looking at that cessation, ceasing of that, ceasing of this. Now, in this way, if we can see everything in that way, what happens? There will be no suffering. That's why this Nirodha here, the translation, another translation is quenching the suffering. Quenching the suffering. So let whatever suffering we have, just dope that away. So that is the Nirodha. And ability to contemplate on that again and again, along with this breath. Breath as the background here, giving us this refuge that we do not lose, so we can come back again on the breath. So in the meantime, ability to contemplating on that is ceasing and arising. So that's why this the cessation here, actually, because of this seeing that things arises and ends and arises continuously in that way, what is happening here, that we are not creating, or we are not having any sort of a desire in it, grasping, or also known as attachment. So we are not having any attachment to any forms, any feelings, any perceptions, any activities, or even our knowing. So this is how you will be able to withdraw yourself. So that's why the first thing is, there is no desire whatsoever in it, whatever you come across, and then whatever is there, and that time you don't have any attachment at all, so-called upadana. So that's why when we were talking about the first principle of this fourth tretra, I was explaining about the different types of attachments that normally we have. So once we have understood that, obviously there will be no attachment whatsoever in it. So able to just drop that away. So that is the Nirodha. Now again, this Nirodha, first way of seeing that Nirodha is something temporal, and another one is permanent. In terms of the temporal, we have kind of particles of a greed, hatred, and delusion is still there. So as a result of that, sometimes, although we say that, or we deny it, but somehow deep down in our hearts and minds, psychologically, we are holding that. Whether that's big or small, some parts or maybe particles still remains in it. That's why sometimes when we are talking to somebody or sharing to someone, and oftentimes we bring those experiences or something that we have, although we said that, oh, I don't worry about that one, but it still comes back, so that some particles remains. So that is a temporal, and the permanent one is that it's completely able to let it go, or completely seized. With that seizing, it according to now, which I don't understand this one, but according to the scripture suggests that since there is no mind and mental states which will be creating or continue creation, there is no continue creation, then we cannot say that there is rising and vanishing. So there is no ending and there is no creating, because already this is the state that they have already quenched all the taints, all the asavas.
Can I ask, so this is just like we don't have brain, we don't have mind, but also we empty our mind, that we have no thoughts, no emotions, we just blank.
It's not a state of the blank. There is a reactions, there is interactions, but the reactions and interactions, it's like you washed it away and done, finished. You're not going back, or did I wash my hand, or
no more worry.
No worries.
No more.
Yeah, it's just done like that. So that is the state is described.
Yeah, permanent.
Yeah.
Disattachment.
Yeah.
No, greed, no.
Okay. And that is only possible to the level that someone has attained the liberation in different levels.
So totally let go. Go with the flow.
Yeah, and I think the second one is not referring to this discourse. Okay? So second one, the permanent ceasing is not referring in this discourse. Okay? So that is the Nirodha. This Nirodha, now this again, I'm coming back to the Four Noble Truths, which is there is a suffering, a cause of suffering, and the suffering can be ceased. So ceased, can be ceased, and then the path to cease the suffering. So the third section, Nirodha, the same word. Okay? Same word. And then a translation also same, cessation. So that's why I early on said that the Nirodha here is not referring to that ending, complete ending, the ceasing. So that's why when we talk about the Nirodha in the Four Noble Truths, always referring with another word called Satya, which means the truth. The cessation, the Nirodha Satya. So that means the truth about the cessation. Did I confuse you? I am also confused.
No. Because this is aiming to perfection, yes? It's just the path to perfect, to discharge ego and be altruistic, be accepting reality and not worry about things. So not easy.
So first thing we have to understand here is the impermanence. Second thing, that because of this impermanence, we are in a flux of this burning all the time. Right? And because of this flux of this burning, then there isn't so-called the permanent entity. Since there is no permanent entity, then I should not be attached to this five aggregate. So there's the rupa, the materiality, feeling, perception, formation, and consciousness. So that's what it says. This is all I can say.
But just I will maybe understand. But it is difficult because you need to eat, yes, and when you don't have enough food, you worry. You need to pay your bills. When you don't have, you worry. You try to make yourself safe and you save money. The same with, and I won't say about children that we attach to them and we worry, we want them to be perfect. So it is not difficult because it is not easy, because as humans with our bodies, to exist we need to nurture our bodies, and also living in society which is constantly developing, we have to catch up. But I understand, and that's why I'm here to cease my worries and my monkey.
Now when I'm listening Prasanna saying, it also comes into my mind that in the Patisambhida, on one of the scriptures, the Sariputta explains that when we practice this way, then our faith becomes strong. Right? Now we have to check whether my faith becomes strong or too much confusion, so I don't have any faith. Faith becomes strong. So that faith becomes strong simply because we have seen the reality. All right, we have seen the reality that things are conditioned, and then this is impermanent, and I should not be attached to it, and it just ends on its own way, and why worry about it? So with that, so if we have seen it clearly, obviously faith will develop, without a doubt. So that also kind of demanding us that whether how much faith we have in it, and that's again basically depending on a level of understanding, how much have we understood these principles
and agree with them.
Mm-hmm.
Because we have to agree with them.
Yeah. Okay. So this is the Nirodhanupassi, and I am out of words. I don't know what to say on it now because it's beyond my understanding.
No, you did it clearly, Prajan. Yeah, help me for this.
Yeah.
I'm giving feedback.
Nirodhanupassi is like you see the cessation and the arising. Then you have to see like it's not under my control as well, like anatma.
Yes.
To let it go.
Yeah. So you have to see that this is a natural factor. It happens on its own way.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And this happening is itself is conditioned, so it's gonna change. Like that. My understanding is that, which I normally reflect, is when something happens, my mind grasps it, and then suddenly the grasping manipulates into some sort of a feelings and emotions. And then when I watch that this manifestation, not manipulation, a manifestation that of these feelings and emotion, then suddenly that realizing simply that drops the initial feelings and emotion.
Then it goes away.
It's like that, just drops. And then when it drops, there is sometimes you have this gust of breath comes. You want to take a long deep breath like that, or other time you just smiles in yourself, and other time just kindness and compassion comes to. Suppose that if somebody had done that, then the kindness and compassion towards that person it just emerges naturally in my heart. So that's what I can see, I think I'm not sure whether that will go on this one or not, but it seems like I see that ceasing like that. So possibly we can I can say that this is like the ceasing in that way. So that's why in my reflection I was saying as well that once you have seen, so the first one is ceased and a new one arises again, and a new one goes on like that. So once we have seen the first one, there's obviously second one also like that. So with that, and obviously because of I have seen or experienced little particles of these things, it really gives me a lot of faith and confidence in the teachings, obviously, and that actually again encourages me to read and practice a little bit more as well. I don't know what to say furthermore on this topic, because it's not an easy one. Okay. So obviously now this is the 15th one, one more to go. Okay, that's the last one. This is last one we will cover following weeks, and after that the breathing mindfulness of the breath will end finally this year. And if you want to have any other discourses to focus on, you can let me know, so we can try to. I will try my best to elaborate and simplify in it, to understand more. Another discourse possibly is good for us to contemplate will be Samanya Bala Sutta, which actually describes more onto the meditation concepts, which again quite an interesting one to focus on. But however, that's my thought. But if you have any thoughts in your mind, so we can study following sessions next after this last one, the 16th one. And then according to the scripture it says, if you have practiced these 16 stages, you will be liberated in a certain stages, and if you do, let me know too. Right, so any questions or reflection before we do the practice of loving kindness meditation? No? Okay, let's do the loving kindness meditation to kind of start. So, sitting in a comfortable position, and bring your attention to the breath. And spend some time reflecting on today's discussion, focusing on cessation. The concept of a cessation. And you may bring your experiences of anything that you have noticed that ceased. It's like a headache that you had after I went for a walk that ceased, or after taking one paracetamol ceased, or some bruises or pains, or and some itchiness that you had, and somehow after contemplating on it, or after doing something that ceased, or even the feelings and emotions. So now we'll practice loving kindness meditation. So bring your attention to your body, feel the sensations in your body, and to your hands. Whatever sensations in your hand, just be mindful of it. And bring that attention to your heart. Feel the beating heart. As you feel the beating heart generating loving kindness and compassion to yourself. I am well, I am happy, I am at peace. I am well, I am happy, I am at peace. Similarly, sharing loving kindness and compassion to all other sentient beings, starting from near dear one, whatever beings there are, visible and invisible beings here in this room, in the city, in this country, on earth and in the universe. May they be well, may they be happy, may they be at peace. May they be well, may they be happy, may they be at peace. May all beings be liberated, liberated. Now bring your attention back to your hands. Feel the sensations in your hand. And to your body. And to your eyes. Feel the sensations in your eyes. Creating intention to come out from the practice. And as you hear the gong, slowly open your eyes and back to the room. Let's be respectful, but Arahant Samma Sambuddho Bhagavan Buddham Bhagavantam Abhivademi Sawādhāto Bhagavata Dhammo Dhammam Namasami Supatipanno bhagavato sāvaka saṅgho saṅgham namāmi.